Good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever it may be, wherever you're watching it. So yeah, welcome back to the channel, guys. Welcome back. So really excited for this video. We're going down the unit. We're gonna fit, should I say. It's been an early morning. I've been really excited. I got up at 5 o'clock just to film this. I didn't really. 3 kids up at 5, not on. But yeah, hence why we're getting the coffee. By the way, the video is not sponsored by Greggs. It's just half a mile from my house and we always use Greggs. So, get back to it. Stop diverting. We are going down the workshop to fit some Flatdog arches. So I've been really excited for this video. I wanted to get the Flatdog arches done. Well, since I put the new wheels and tyres on, really. That's the main reason for it. We've gone up to 35 inches. So I need something that's going to cope with that. And obviously we need a little bit more room. So I'm hoping the Flatdog arches are going to do that. So stay tuned, guys, because what we're going to do in this video, we're going to give you a step-by-step of how we're going to install them, how, you know, maybe you could install them. It's not going to be perfect dot to dot what you should do. It's just the way we're going to do it. And if you can take something from it and actually learn how to do them properly, fantastic. Then, you know, you've got a bonus out of it. Plus there's a bit of an extra bonus coming out of this video. Make sure you stay until the end, because obviously I'll put the link in the description for the arches provided by Flatdog UK, based in Gainsborough. And then what we'll do is they're actually offering a bit of a discount. So this is dated, you're probably going to watch this, what, second week of January to 2023. So I know for the next 3 or 4 months they're going to put a bit of a discount code on. I'm not going to tell you the discount code just yet until you watch it till the end. So don't skip it, you watch it all the way through. So yeah, there's going to be a bit of a discount code, so where you can get a little bit of money off when you go to Flatdog. Yeah, let's crack on. Let me have my coffee, let me have my bacon butty, and we'll show you what it's all about. Go, mate. Wake him up, look. We'll go shopping. So here we go. This is the current arches we've got on her. So the only reason we change it, well, I say the only reason, there's a few reasons we are changing to the Flatdog arches. So number one, they're slightly wider, okay, which will cover. If I look down the side of the vehicle, you can sort of see how far the 35 stick out. So obviously we want a little bit more coverage, which number one, that's what it's going to do, which is great. But we've got a problem with, if you look where the centre of the wheel is and the two outer parts, the further edges of the wheel, you can see where this arch comes down, and where it should be is you can see where the edge of the rock slider is. And you can't physically bend a circle like that, hence why we've gone for the Flatdog. And same with this back arch here, it should sort of roughly meet up to the back bumper where it finishes. So that's what number one, that's what I wanted. It's more aesthetics as well as by the time this flexes up and actually hits that arch, it's just going to end up ripping that arch off. And same with the front, you can sort of see new bumper is pending, so don't worry too much about that. But you can sort of see where roughly it should be finishing, and it's not. And there's just no way of moving those arches to the positions that we actually need them. So, plus it'll give me a little bit more room, so it won't damage the car. So, list of items we need for this job, okay? Number one, obviously the arches, which you can see. I've absolutely destroyed the box. I'll put a little clip in now, because I got them. I picked them up about a couple of months ago when I was visiting some family, and yeah, I literally forgot they was in the back of the van, and you can see what it's done to the box. I ended up putting some logs in the back of the van because it was free, and you know me, I like free stuff. So put the logs in the back of the van, totally forgot the arches were in there, and you can see what it's done to the box. But as they are described, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the arches whatsoever, and you can see what's happened to the box. It's been absolutely battered. So Number one, we need the arches. Okay. Number two, I've tried to sort of lay out what sort of kit we need. Okay. Doesn't have to be an impact driver or anything like that. Just a screwdriver for getting them on and off, the bits and bobs. Pop rivet gun, if you can get it, fantastic. A bit of tape for marking up, a pen, obviously for marking. A grinder, number one, a decent grinder with a actual cutting disc as well as a flappy disc. I've put the Dremel there because we might need it later down the stage because, you know, if something's not quite right and I can't get it with a grinder, we can sort of fine tooth comb it with the Dremel. Obviously, a brew. We need a brew with a job like this. And if we really get stressed, I'm going to crack a fag out and just have a minute with my brew. So I think that just about covers all the tools we need. So as you can see, just got all the excess dirt off. It's not perfect, but obviously we want to be taping for marking up. So the surface has got to be clean, otherwise your tape's just not going to stick, is it? Might be stating the obvious, but I just want to try and make sure I run through everything on this video for a complete newbie, if he was a complete newbie, to somebody that's got a bit of common sense, that's done it before maybe. But yeah, like I say, I just want to run through absolutely everything for you. So this is what you actually get in the pack. Obviously, you've got your two fronts here, which are one piece, and your backs are actually two separate pieces. We'll come on to the back in just a moment. But yeah, just show you what you get in the pack. You also get, there's a nice rubber bead, which you can actually, if I take it back to the old ones, cheap eBay crap. Basically, it's just a rubber bead that you put on the inner of the arch, just up against, so it sits like that basically. So yeah, you get brand new ones of them. Got some nice shiny screws in there, and it looks like we've got some nice black caps as well. So yeah, we'll get them out. What I want to do first though is just get it'll be that one up to get a rough estimate where we're going to get it. Okay, so as you can see, there's going to be quite a bit of cutting coming out. What I am going to say, and I'll put you on a wider angle, so as you can see, probably going to sit roughly, you can see where this sort of line is here, okay? Obviously that's meant to sit on here. So we're roughly going to aim that up. And we're not going to have loads of cutting, but we're not going to be that far off, okay? What I am going to say to you, and I'll take you around the other side to show you. So as you can see, this is this side. As you can see, where it's going to sit roughly, if you've got one of these snorkels, and this is a big tip, okay, just be careful. I'd probably do this side first if you was going to do it, and then you know what sort of gap you've got. I'm not too fussed because I'm changing my whole snorkel anyway. This is going to end up as a full wing, so I'm not really fussed where I end up putting this one. And I'm going to have sort of what we call a south down snorkel that just comes up out of here, so it's not going to affect where this is. But if you have got one of these snorkels, just be aware, and I'd probably do your passenger front first, and then you know when you cut you're not going to be up here or too low or whatever it may be. So yeah, just a major point, make sure you take that into effect. Do this corner first if you've got one of these snorkels. Right, so as you can see, we're on Steve's, and he's got a safari, what I call a safari snorkel, okay? You can just see there's just enough gap where you've still got a bit of body, and then the arch actually starts. And actually, when Steve turns his wheel, and these are 33 inch, there's plenty of room either way, okay? So, and that's the main point I want to make out as well, is when you're putting your arches on, remember, if you've got big wheels or anything like that, when you do a full lock left and a full lock right, or right hand down, left hand down, just make sure you've got enough room front and back for it actually, there's enough room for it to do that. But yeah, it's just an example of what it's going to be like on the snorkel side, okay? So start that side first. Right, so you can see we're taped up already around the edges, all right? So we're just going to put it up, shy it up, should I say, mark it all in, and let me grab the pen, and we can do that. I'll put it somewhere, no. There we go. It's a general marker. So what I'm doing is looking, number one, for the line as well, exactly where I want it, because I don't want it like that, or I don't want it like that, okay? So I'm actually looking for a line here, roughly where I want it. But the main point is this section down here, it's actually got a bit of a bulge in that actually sits in with the curve of your wings and the actual body line, should I call it. So I'm probably going to be looking about there, I think, roughly, give or take, about there, probably. A little bit, maybe a little bit further down. It's quite hard to judge as you're doing it. So, say we've got a glamorous assistant today. So I'm roughly going to mark out where I think it is. And then I think the main point of this is, oh, my tape started coming off. So I think the main point of it is basically don't go wild straight away. So I'd probably, even if you stick it on your original bulge, if you had smaller tyres, let's stick it on your original bulge, it'll meet up, and just take little by little. So that's roughly my line where it is. But even if you ended up marking here, something like this, and doing bit by bit, I think that's probably better if if you're not very hands-on and you're a little bit worried about doing it. I think probably that's the best bet. Just taking a little bit off by little bit, aiming it up. Does it fit? No, all right. So we'll take a little bit more and do it like that. I think that's probably the best bet. But I think that's the line for my tyres at the moment. If I've got to take some more off, then we'll take some more off. But yeah, that curve there has got to match up with your body line, because otherwise it's just going to look crap. Simple as that. So that's the first cut done. You can sort of see I'm slightly below the actual marked line, because yes, it is nerve-wracking, but like I said, if you're taking less at a time, you can always take more in the end, can't you? I'd rather do the job once instead of messing it up 3 or 4 times. So yeah, as you saw, just as we're coming around for the grinder, it won't, well, I couldn't get through with the grinder without damaging too much stuff. So I just finished it off with a little hacksaw. Same down here. I mean, I've literally just touched my rock slider, realised, pulled the grinder away, and then basically just finished it off with a hacksaw. So I'll have to do a little bit of powder coating on that. So the reason it's actually still attached as well, just about, is I left those screws in on purpose. Well, that's what I'm telling you. Yeah, so I left them on purpose so we could take them off after, and it'll come away quite nicely without one side dropping, and then you end up cutting that one wonky or something like that. So yeah, left these in, and then we can whip these out now, and hopefully this will come away and show you what to do next. Right, so you can see that is now done. I've literally just marked that up, well, aimed that up where it should be. It's absolutely perfect. So the next issue is obviously your inside, what I call guttering, just to stop all the crap getting through your wing. So we've had to make a few modifications, well, I say a few modifications, get my words out. We've put one slit in where the bend is, because obviously it's not designed, it's meant to be designed to be where it is, okay? So, and it's not designed to be up here, so we've had to modify it. It's one of those things, but that will sit in there quite nicely, and the arch will cover over that. So that's great, that stops all the way up to this point, crap getting in. I've put a little slit in here, so you can see this little slit. It's literally all the way back to the curve, just so we can get a bit of flexibility in it. As you can see, that now runs up to this arch, which then, as soon as this arch comes over, this arch, yeah, that being the one, as soon as this arch comes over the top here, I'll trim that back a little bit, but it will come over and it will sit in and stop crap getting up there, okay? This bit down here, I'd already done on previous arches, so there's no getting away from that, but normally you should have this all the way down. So depending what you're doing, you might have to put another slit in about here roughly, and then you can fold that back, and same applies for putting that there, and the arch sits over the top. It just stops you getting a load of crap in your wing and having to replace it eventually, because I mean it just gets everywhere. So yeah, that's my plan. We're going to stitch that up, we're going to get some tape off, get this situated where we want it, and yeah, job done. So you can see what we're doing to the arch now. We're just putting, this is what I said we got with it. I'll put that down a minute. It's like that U shape, for one focus. There you go. It's the U shape stuff. And yeah, you just put it on every arch like Steve's doing right now as it sits on. Just gives it that bit of protection, and it sits quite nicely, a little bit flusher, let's say, in there. So yeah, that beading goes on there. So this one's coming one full length, so we're going to get to that end and cut it off. We've just noticed a massive difference as well, just putting this on compared to the eBay special, where literally, I don't know, you could fart and it'll fall off. This actual beading here is so much stronger. It just sits on. So like this stuff, you used to be able to, well, when we did it, you put it on and it just, before you even got the arch on, it'd just fall off. So yeah, big difference already. That beading's absolutely quality. So, and another notice is, for some reason, this set has not come pre-drilled. Normally, I think they do come pre-drilled. I think yours did, Steve, didn't it? So for some reason, it's not. But what I'm just going to do is stick a little 1mm hole just through these, just to make the self-tappers go straight through and make it a bit easier for us. As you can see behind me, it is on, all right? Bit fiddly, I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit fiddly, but bit of common sense. I'm gonna show you a few modifications. So I think they're actually designed for more. I mean, I'm on 35 inches, so I just need to have a word with them at Flatdog to say, look, I think they need to be slightly bigger for the bigger tires. That's why I've had to modify it. I mean, up to about 33. Steve's on 33s, and they went on okay. Still had to do a little bit of cutting here and there, which I'm going to just about to show you, okay? But generally, it's not too bad, the front, all right? So I'm going to show you the modifications we've had to do. We've done a full lock test, left hand down, right hand down, and there's plenty of room, so that's okay. So yeah, there we go. So there is a little bit, you won't be able to see it because it's actually behind, but what I've had to do is just make a little snicket in here, just so the arch sits back, so it's flush against there. I'm not too worried, like I say, I'm getting a bumper built, so the bumper's going to end up coming to here anyway, so that's fine. I mean, it looks a little bit funny at the moment, but the bumper's getting built as we speak, so that's okay. But yeah, goes round all the way round. There's a little bit of a gap here, which, you know, if you was really anal about it, then you could always change it and just drop it down. But I just wanted a little bit more clearance with the bigger tyres, so I've just lifted this slightly up. As you can see, I've cut that little bit of bottom out, and then basically I've just moved it back slightly. So yeah, that's the modifications on the front. That is the front all done. And hopefully you agree, it's looking 10 times better. I mean, let's have a look at the wide angle from there. It is sitting, I mean, it's not covering it all, which I wasn't expecting it to, but it's covering more than what it was before. So yeah, happy with that. Right, let's get the back taped up, and yeah, let's get onto the back. So we're on with the rears. Okay, it's going to be the same process as before. We're going to tape it up. I'll give it a bit of a clean off again. Tape it up, roughly get them where we want them, mark it, and then we go for the cut. But there's a lot of different aspects to the back compared to the front, okay? The front you can just whiz through, job done, happy days. But the big difference on the back is what we're planning to do is you're only going to cut through one skin of this door, okay? Because then the inner of the door, the inner skin, should I say, what we're going to do is put a few flaps in, fold it over, and literally just tack weld it back on. That'll keep, number one, the water out, and number two, it'll keep the rigidity, should I get my words out, rigidity of the door, okay? So we're only going to take the outer skin, so you've got to be really careful when you're doing this. Don't be too scared, like I am. I'm absolutely crapping it. But like I said before, if you just take a little bit lower than what your original cut is, you can always modify it If you take too much, then you know you shit out of luck. You shit out of luck, aren't you? But like I said, we're going to mock it up, okay, to roughly where we want it. I'm going to do this side first so that I can match the crease in it to the door roughly. Like I said, we've got a bit of a gap on the front. I'm not too fussed, but we need the turning circle for the 35 inches, so that's what we've had to do. It might be different on your vehicle, but that's what we're doing, okay? Like I said, if you can learn a bit from it and take a bit from this video, great. So yeah, I'm going to get some tape on and we're going to mock it up. So this is what we were saying about just going through one layer of the skin, basically. You need to leave this, you can see that, bloody holes already. Yeah, you need to leave the rear layer there, like I said, because we're going to fold it and put strength back in this, and also it stops more crap going, you know, up into your quarters and stuff like that, doesn't it? So yeah, that's what we're at. Right, so this is where we're at, guys. So I was on about putting rigidity back into this rear quarter. So as you can see, it's not great. So at one stage, I'm going to have to pull this. I'm going to do the arches just for you guys so you can see what's going on. I'm going to fit them, but then when I finish the video, I'm going to pull them back off, put a new plate in here, because otherwise that's going to last, what, 6 months of salt on the road. But yeah, generally, if this is all right, what we're doing is, as you can see here, putting slits in, folding it up, and then what we're going to do is actually just fold that over, pop rivet that, cut the excess off. That'll be nice and strong again. So, but yeah, we're going to fit the arches just for now, just to show you, and then eventually I'm going to have to replace this, because otherwise the MOT inspector's going to be like, no, your arches are gone. So, you know what it's like working with Land Rovers, you always occur extra jobs in there. So yeah, we'll show you what we're doing. We'll get all that pop riveted on and I'll bring you back. Right, so this is where we're at, guys. You saw what we was doing before. So we've just separated it. We've actually pop riveted it and just put a bit of primer on for now. Remember, I know it looks an absolute dog of a job, but I'm literally putting the arch on. I just want to show you how to do it realistically. So I'm going to put the arch on, set this, do this one next. And then what we'll do is, like I say, get the video done, and then I'm going to have to end up pulling this off and plating it all up for you. But yes, don't forget what I've just forgot. No. The trim. So there we go, that's the back end on. Yeah, pretty happy with that. It matches up quite nicely with the door. We've obviously had to cut wherever it was. There it is. So, because I've got a modified custom bumper, should I say, we've had to cut that section off, which normally it would probably come down to about there. But yeah, I don't do that bit. So yeah, cracking on with that. There's not a lot, and I'll show you in a minute. There's actually not a lot of thickness between this skin and the inner skin, okay, especially up here, because I've decided to go a little bit higher than probably what you normally would, just so I don't catch, because I've had it catch before, and it sort of bends your inner arch and all sorts of things. So I've just lifted it up slightly higher from where I want it, And the quickest way to measure that up, well, or mark it up, I think, is now you've got that back one on, you can actually literally get this absolutely eye on at the top and eye on at the bottom. Obviously leave a little gap for your door to open as well, and then mark down where you want it, simple as that. But just remember, when you're cutting, you don't want to be going all the way through, you're literally just taking this front skin away. Alright guys, so bit by bit, like I say, it takes a little bit more time to actually get this back one right, but all I've done, as you can see, I've actually gone in between the two lines. If I need to take a little bit more, I can. When we sort of mock it up, that's absolutely fine. But that's all I've took off that door. But what you can see, you've left with the inner skin, okay? Some people, depending how they're going to do it, going to have this inner skin probably a little bit further down. But remember what I said, I'm trying to lift them up a little bit, just so I can go a little bit higher, just for flex reasons and stuff. Don't want the tyres getting caught, so yeah, it's going to become more down, but I wanted to gain height on it as such. So yeah, I'm going to do exactly the same what we did with the back. Obviously this is much better, it won't be rotting at all. But yeah, I'm going to do exactly the same, pull these white clips out here, and what we're going to do is fold it over into here. We'll see how we get on. We might just tack weld it, just quickly, because I think that it's not lost a lot of strength, because there's not a lot there, but you can probably just see it flexing around sort of thing. So there's probably, what, that much to take off around here, give or take, probably that. And then what we'll be doing, like I say, is exactly the same as the back. Put a couple of slits in, fold it up and over, maybe tack it or maybe rivet it. Let's see how we get on. So this is where we're at, guys, okay? Not pretty, but like I say, all those flaps that we've just bent up, I've literally just tacked them bit by bit sort of thing. Like I say, it doesn't look great, but if you look from there, what I'm gonna do is grind all that off, well, cut all that off, should I say, and then just tidy all these welds up, give it a little spray. But yeah, strong as houses. We've got all the rigidity back in the door. Like I say, job done. There we go, that's what we're left with, all right? So, I'll show you underneath as well. Steve's just breaking his car over there. So, what we're going to do is probably put a little bit of body filler in there as well, just to seal any, you see the little gaps that we've got, so I don't want any water into the bottom of the door, because they go bad as it is, and you can sort of see what happens. But, so yeah, that's what we're left with, guys, ready to put it on. So all I'm going to do, grab a pen, and you can see where I'm going to mark. I'm going to mark that, open the door, cut that off, happy days. There we go, guys. That's all done. Remember, I've got to plate all that, but that's after. I can whip that off and do that. But for video purposes, she is all on. Really quite happy how it's turned out. What I'm going to do is just, you see this actual beading here. What I'm going to actually do is just paint all this up and actually put some of the beading on here, because I don't want the kids catching the legs or anything. I don't think they will, but just as an extra precaution, I'm just going to put some of this beading, once I give it a bit of a paint, on there, just to stop any, you know, sharp edges or anything like that. But yeah, happy days, happy days. So there's the front. She's looking good. Let's stand back. Nice. There's a nice bit of shadow there, but yeah, looking good, looking good. Well, there we go. That's one side done. All we've got to do is duplicate what we've done onto the other side. So I probably want to take a moment just to say thanks for Flatdog supplying the arches. Obviously I paid for them, but you know, he's given us the chance to give you guys something back, i.e. discount, so you get 5% off Flatdog purchases. I will leave the link in the description, okay? It's not a job that you want to be rushing, but yeah, I mean, just touching it there, like, it's absolutely solid. So when they say they're indestructible, I mean, we'll give them a good test, you know I will. But we'll soon find out on the trips, won't we? We'll definitely find out. So yeah, there's 5% off Flatdog purchases. Remember, I will either chuck it on the screen here or leave a link in the description just to remind you about that. Guys, if you like the video, remember, thumbs up, leave me a comment, see what you think, share the video as much as possible, because what's going to happen is this discount's not going to be forever, okay? So it's only going to be for 3 or 4 months, let's say. So yeah, get on it. If you need something from Flatdog, get yourself sorted, and have a word with them. Even give them a ring. They're really good on the phone. If they can't find something, they'll find somebody that knows about that thing, if that makes sense as well. But yeah, there we go. The job is done. Well, I say the job's not fully complete, but like I say, give yourself at least half an hour on the front, and probably an hour and a half on the back, because like I said, you want it right. You don't want to be cutting and bodging and everything like that. But yeah, well, the only thing I've got left to do myself personally, what I want to do, I want to put an edging strip just on that back door there, and then also I just want to put a bit of body filler in that door as well, and just make sure that's set. But for video purposes, I couldn't get through what I wanted to do today. I wanted to get the video out. That's how we fit them, okay? You might want to fit them differently. That's how I've done it. If you can take something from the video, great. But it's one of those things. This is how we've done it. They're solid, they look good, and hopefully they do the job. So yeah, remember guys, if you like the video, smash the thumbs up, leave me a comment, share it, all that palaver. If you're new here and you do like the channel, we've got loads of builds going on. We go out green laning, go check the channel out. We've got loads of videos going on, and there's plenty of content to come as well. So yeah, we'll leave it there for this one. Remember, hit the link in the description, Flatdog UK. Like I say, you'll get a discount on that. But yeah, happy days, looking good, looking good. We'll see you next week.